More harrowing stories of people getting out, Ed.
People getting out, people living through it, people surviving. This is Mike Lynch, really, Mike Lynch, right?
That's true, Michael Lynch.
And Tim, if you don't mind, turn around. We're going to show you. See where the sign that says vacuum and appliance? You live up there?
Yes, I do.
There's no roof up there.
Well, there's a roof up there. It's intact. It was the attic that got ripped off, so the actual roof to the apartment survived.
Yeah. And so you were there when it went through?
Yes, I was.
And the experience was?
The experience was, and I'm speechless about the experience because I was without any decision to make. I had no idea which way to turn, and I just had to
What did you do?
What did I do? Took a look around, and the shaking stopped. I realized what probably had happened. I looked out the window. I recognized a tornado.
So you saw the tornado form?
I saw the tornado. I didn't see it form. I didn't see it coming. I was actually taking a nap, and I came up out of a dead sleep, and I looked out the window because I heard this deafening noise. And it was just like
a
silent.
Freight train?
Yeah, like a freight train. Is that how it's being described?
Right.
Because it's silent and it's loud at the same time, and there was a moment of, man, there is no help, man. Whatever happens here, it's in God's hands right now.
This is your dog Bella, and she's happy as a lark. She was there with you?
Oh yeah, she was there, and I got another cat inside, and the cat's okay.
Well, she's hungry, so she did well.
Yeah, she did good.
We're glad that you are well, and what are you going to do now that you don't have a place?
No, I have a place. Everything's intact. They have to work on the roof. I don't know if they're going to condemn it. It's possible to get that thing back together soon. I don't know what I'm going to do in the meantime. I'll have to just stick with the city's furnishings. They're doing a pretty good job right now.
Well, Mike, thank you so much. Yeah, where'd you spend? You spent it at Mass Mutual Arena last night.
Yes, I did.
Last night, yeah. So that's what they've been doing with people. And in fact, one of the hotels in town, the Sheraton, I know, has been taking people in at a discount rate for the time they need to be in there. If they don't have power, if they don't have water, if they don't have supplies. So the town is chipping in to help people who need places to stay. So Heather and Bianca, here's a story of another man who was walking up and down the street, who survived the storm, and now his life has been uprooted. He has to figure out what to do next.
We're just marveling at these pictures, Ed, that we're seeing from Brimfield, and if we can stay with them for just a minute, it's staggering, the damage, and not just to properties and homes there, but look at the tree damage in this area. And this is obviously an airplane that's flipped over, and one of the things that folks are doing in the Brimfield area and many other communities is checking whether or not there are people in cars, whether or not they're in airplanes. But look at the disaster it's caused at this airstrip in the Brimfield area.
I mean, the force of those winds to actually move planes, to take the brick buildings and shear off tops of floors there is really telling the story there. And
even when you see just the wide swath of trees that have been carved out of that area, the amount of time it's going to take for those trees to regrow is sort of staggering to think about, but also, obviously, more importantly, is the loss of life that was experienced in Brimfield and 2 other communities. 4 people now confirmed dead, one of them here in the Brimfield area in a camping stretch.
And so many people right now are looking for assistance, and the Red Cross has been trying to provide a lot of help in the overnight hours. Joining us now on the phone, Nicole Valentine with the Red Cross. So first off, how many people are you helping at this hour right now, Nicole?
Good morning, ladies. It's very difficult to get a number in our hands around just how many have been affected, but we do know that we have between 400 and 500 individuals in shelters in Springfield, another 50 in Southbridge, Massachusetts, and we're really in the preliminary phase of search and rescue, working with our emergency managers to determine what is the need and what can we do to help.
We're looking, Nicole, while we're talking to you, we're also looking at live pictures from Brimfield, which is just staggering devastation there in at least the stretch that we can see. Do you know how many of those people, I mean, you're telling me roughly 550 people in those shelters, how many of them have lost everything versus just being without power?
Again, it's very difficult to determine. We have neighborhoods where there are 3 homes that have been destroyed, and we have neighborhoods where there are 50 to 100 homes that have either been heavily damaged or destroyed. And
really?
It's very preliminary for us right now, but there will be thousands of our neighbors in need.
Do you know which neighborhoods were the hardest hit? Do you have a sense for which it is that took the hit to 50 to 100 homes?
I can let you know that those neighborhoods were in Springfield. We have neighborhoods in Southbridge and in Sturbridge, and, all throughout 19 towns within Massachusetts.
How hard has it been to get out and access some of these communities? Because we do hear about the debris on the roads and the down power lines. Has that impeded some of the progress?
the key to a successful disaster operation is the preparedness, and we have contact information with all of our emergency managers, and right now it is traveling and trying to get on the streets. So we have street teams that will be out doing disaster assessment and working with each of those 19 towns to determine their very specific needs. This will be a long disaster relief operation with thousands of victims that need help.
Are we dealing with injuries in the shelters as well, Nicole, or are all of those people being transferred to hospitals to be checked out?
We have seen people come in with injuries and they're being transported to the hospitals. There are still search and rescue teams out there, numerous task forces that are working with MEMA, and they are still identifying individuals that have been wounded and injured.
And are you getting a sense from the people who are seeking shelter that they're concerned about family members they haven't heard from? Are there any reports of missing people?
We don't have reports as of now, but we do have systems in place for our safe and well registration, and we're asking people, anyone that's concerned about a loved one, to contact their local Red Cross.
Are you getting people just coming to you, every minute here, trying to, we need this, we need that? What are you hearing right now from these communities?
The individuals are coming into the shelters. They're in pure shock. I mean, we've seen the pictures in Missouri and Alabama, and now this is our community and our neighbors, and they just don't know where to turn and what to do. In 3.5 seconds, their lives have been turned upside down and their homes are gone.
What can we do? People sitting at home, I know, just want to reach out and help. Is there anything that the Red Cross truly needs from folks at home right now who haven't been affected by this?
Absolutely. The people of Massachusetts are so supportive, and right now, to be perfectly honest with you, we need financial contributions to sustain these efforts, to make sure that our neighbors have food, clothing, and shelter. People can visit www.redcross.org to make a financial donation, or they could call their local chapter house or 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Well, we appreciate that information and obviously the tremendous help you're offering to the people that are most in need at this hour. It is incredible as we look live here now at the damage, and the sun is up, and we can see right now what is left behind, and it is a massive amount of cleanup work to do. It is a massive amount of pulling together that these communities are going to need, and with folks like the Red Cross, some of this assistance will get to those who are hardest, because right now they're definitely going to need it. Still no word on exactly how many people could be missing. We do know 4 people sadly were confirmed dead as a result of these deadly tornadoes that touched down. 7 confirmed touchdowns.
And keep in mind, redcross.org. Redcross.org will continue to pass along that information, but if you do want to make a financial contribution, that is probably going to help the victims who are in the shelters the most right now. Let's get you into the newsroom for an update on what else is happening. Todd Kaskiewicz is there live. Todd?
And Heather and Bianca, so much incredible video that we're seeing, really the beauty of the technological age. I want to show you something that's just coming into us from the U-Local section of the BostonChannel.com. And this is video from I-91 North in Springfield yesterday afternoon, just as the funnel cloud is crossing over the highway. These are people on a bus. You hear many of them just shrieking, panicking, not knowing what to do. And you look at the traffic there in the foreground, and you can see people, the drivers don't really know what to do either, so they just put on the brakes, they stop right where they are. Funnel cloud passed over one heading east, and the people on the bus really, they're not sure what's going on, what to do. There's not much they can do. The funnel cloud, of course, moving toward buildings. Passengers just continuing to scream as the debris goes shooting up. We've seen so many scenes like this. It really is shocking to see it happening so close to home, as you were just talking about, as the Red Cross people were just talking about. It's happening here. So we'll continue bringing you updates throughout the morning as we get more video of what happened yesterday into our newsroom here.
And Todd, real quick, as we watch this kind of unfiltered video and it comes into us, it's amazing to hear, people's reaction from terror, but just to have the wherewithal to actually be able to pick up a camera or an iPhone and film some of it. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it really is.
It certainly is. And, a case like this, people were stuck on the bus. There was nothing they could do. It certainly wouldn't have been safe to get off the bus. They had to stay right where they were. And so, they just decided to shoot some video and try to record what they were seeing, because it's so incredible, so unusual, and something that none of us have seen in our lifetimes and hopefully won't see here again.
Todd, you may not even know the answer to this, so I ask you with that in mind. Are these the school kids this from the 4 busloads that were coming back from Six Flags?
No, to the best of my knowledge, these are not the school kids. That was another case with another group of kids who were on a bus. But it appears that this is adults on a bus. But you know, this happened again during the height of the rush hour. So you had so many people moving, so many people on buses, in cars, so many people on the go. So it really is remarkable that we're not talking about more injuries, more fatalities from this.
All witnesses to nature's fury yesterday there in central Massachusetts.
And the unpredictability of a tornado, and you see it right in front of you, not knowing which direction it's going to go, had to be really frightening.
Todd, thank you for sharing some of those images. And we thank our viewers for being, you know, our eyewitnesses also on the ground as well. We've been getting some incredible photos in from you local on some of the damage, down trees. We want to make sure you are careful if you're going out, venturing out to get any photos. Be careful with any down power lines. Definitely want to be aware as we look at Sky 5, the chopper pictures here. More devastation. These are homes crumbled, crushed by the force of these winds. And JC's been tracking some of the information coming in. I mean, the bottom line is when you look at something like this and you see, you do not think it is Massachusetts. You just don't even put it into pictures that this is Springfield.
This is Springfield that we're looking at now, and I'm sorry, this is Brimfield that we're looking at now, and one of the things that's staggering is when you see the wind direction paths. I mean, when you look at these trees and you look at the debris and you see every now and then you'll see 20 yards of trees that are toppled in one direction, and then the next 20 yards or so are toppled in another direction.
And then some are fine.
Let's bring J.C. Monahan. Maybe you can give us an explanation of that, J.C. The wind patterns with the tornado, just really unbelievable to witness.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, you know, in this day and age, let's remember, we all have cell phone video, right? I mean, just about everybody. So we're capturing so much more of the developments of tornadoes. I mean, it's going to help us as meteorologists after the fact to look back and we learn from all of this, but we as a group are learning so much once you get to witness it as it's developing, and that's what we've seen. And as you look back, you know, we've taken a look at some of the facts. Since 1950, Massachusetts has had 155 tornadoes. We average about 2 to 3 per year. Of course, they usually are extremely weak on the Fujita scale, EF0, EF1. We've had 9 in the last 10 years, but the last fatal tornado was back on May 29th, 1995, excuse me. It was the Great Barrington tornado. 3 people in a car died when that car lifted up and was tossed hundreds of feet away. Obviously, this one created much more damage across a much larger area. And to take you through time here, here we were 4:30 last night in Westfield. So here was one report of a touchdown. It skirted through Chicopee and then over to Springfield at 4:32. You can see the damage in the video that's right beside me at the airport. As you can see some of those toppled over planes. If we can go back full screen just so I can read the text that's on the graphics here. 5:24, it hit Sturbridge. Now we go back. You think one round is bad enough. Round number 2 came through 6:07 in Westfield, and that tornado most likely, and this is what the National Weather Service is doing, is assessing the damage to determine how many tornadoes, exactly where they touch down. We have reports of 7 touchdowns, not 7 tornadoes, but 7 funnel clouds that hit down. Could be one that touched down a couple of times, as this may have been going from Westfield to Springfield. But then, as we jump ahead back to Sturbridge, look at the time difference. We're at 7:25 for round number 2 in Sturbridge. So therefore, there could be as many as 3+ tornadoes. Again, the assessment teams from the National Weather Service are there. They hope to have details by late this afternoon or early this evening. They have great weather to assess the damage. I mean, there's full visibility out there. There are some clouds up to the north, some showers they've developed, just a reinforcing shot of cooler, drier air coming in. High temperatures for today, actually cool and refreshing. We don't have the hot, sticky air, which aided the development of the severe weather yesterday as the cold front came in. Today, upper 60s. As you go north and west of Boston, around 70. These are current temperatures, 70 Boston to Taunton. If you look at my high temperatures, you'll notice they're not much different. Upper 60s north and west of Boston, low 70s Boston southward. I don't expect a tremendous warm-up today with the cool, dry air that's coming in. Winds, however, will be brisk from the west. They'll be at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's the only thing we really have to contend with. Winds will still be brisk tomorrow. They'll be from the north-northwest, bringing down, again, reinforcing cool, dry air. So we look ahead. You see the storm off to the west. we don't really get into it full force as we go into next week. Instead, as you look at Futurecast here, you can see the clouds will just increase as we go into Saturday night, and that will lead to a few sprinkles on Sunday, possibly some showers on Monday. Guys, back to you.
All right, JC, thank you. Our Ed Harding has been up all night in Springfield assessing some of the damage, and we want